It is said only half in jest. The Nigerian army has so much firepower that they use ammunition as a defoliant. Nigeria's planes, MiG-17s and Ilyushin bombers, were bought for cash from the Russians who want to get a political foothold here. Most of the planes are flown by Egyptians, who are characterized as wary of anti-aircraft fire, therefore less than enthusiastic about going after military targets. That, it is suggested, is one cause of the high civilian casualties in the air raids on Biafra. But the war has been bloody on both sides, and inept and unaggressive though they may be, the Nigerian army, in 2 years of sporadic fighting, has suffered heavily. They will not release official casualty figures, but an army doctor told me that 8,000 Nigerian soldiers have died, and perhaps another 25,000 have been wounded. The military has just 11 army doctors for its 85,000 men. A severe head or body wound in the field means almost certain death. The Nigerian army gives no medals in this civil war. I asked the commander-in-chief, head of state, General Yakubu Gowon.
It is the Okiwu Umahi medal, it is Onitsha medal, it is Enugu medal, it is Port Harcourt medal, and that this is the war for the war against the Igbos. They said we hate to sort of have that sort of feeling, because it will make the child feel as though he's a conquered sort of person.
The war, says Gowon over and over, is not to conquer the Igbo. It is to bring the Igbo back into one Nigeria.
One of the two reasons, along with increased military effectiveness, that Biafra is still alive is the fact that not nearly so many people are starving as were last fall. And the reason for that is the emergency airlift sponsored by Catholic and Protestant churches and the International Red Cross.
Perhaps some vegetables, a small piece of fish, and some soup. All handed out early in the morning to millions of people who would have died were this food not flown in nightly to several Biafran airstrips carved from the jungle. While the relief flights have reduced dramatically the number of children and adults starving to death, down perhaps to 600 a week from the high of several thousand a week last year, the dying continues. In clinics like this all over Biafra, youngsters in the final stages of severe malnutrition still die, as did several of these during our week in Biafra. Not enough food is being flown in, not enough grown, and for many, what there is now just too late. This bush clinic is run by Father Kevin Dani. After 14 years in Africa, he and fellow missionaries were ordered to leave Biafra in 1967 by the Irish ambassador. They stayed, as did Protestants of other nationalities, and they, in the main, have been responsible for keeping Biafra from starving to death.
How hard has the war been on the Igbo civilian population? How many people have died, would you think, Father?
I would think that we've gone into the 2nd million. I am not a statistician, and it's very hard to talk about millions, but I think that it's, according to the experts here, I think that they've gone into the 2nd million. And they have suffered incredibly. And this is the one big argument that I would put forward as one of the reasons why they want to survive on their own, and they want to live on their own. They could not have suffered.
And that is part of the staggering normalcy with which life in Biafra goes on. In spite of 2 years of war, in spite of the loss of all its major cities, in spite of the death of more than 1 million people in 24 months, life in Biafra goes on. Markets like this one at Orlu, where 40 died last year, were bombed and strafed by Nigerian jets. But the markets were moved back into the bush, and daily commerce goes on. Food is still on sale, but in smaller quantities than in pre-war days. Basic services are still being sold for Biafran pounds. Wartime inflation has forced prices up. Clothing costs have tripled. Cigarettes sell for $20 a pack. Inflation aside, life in Biafra is so normal that even the judicial system has not faltered. Back in the bush, a civil trial to settle a land dispute. Hardly the thing we thought we'd find in a supposedly defeated country about to be overrun. And in areas just recaptured as the Biafran army pushes south again, in cities like Owerri, where damage was heavy, after obviously heavy fighting, the business of cleaning up and putting things right started almost as soon as the area was secure. Owerri, after being in Nigerian hands for 7 months, is expected to be a fully functioning city in a matter of weeks, making room for refugees who already are starting to return, and for whom the first Mass of Thanksgiving in the unfinished and war-damaged cathedral was an event of paramount importance.
They had to suffer first of all from the air with the bombing and the strafing that left so many of our civilians dead. They had to fight at the front where so many of our young men have died. We have become, most of us, refugees. We have lost our property. We have nothing of our own. That suffering we have known for the past 20 months. That suffering we still have. But we live in hope that that Holy Spirit will come down on us, that he will enlighten the minds of our leaders, and that they will lead us to a true and just and lasting peace.
In the territory the Biafrans evacuated as they fled before the federal troops, the abandoned buildings echo only to the wind. And the cities in the Igbo heartland, once the most densely populated area in all of Africa, have been emptied of their people. Emptied by the Igbo's fear of the federal Nigerian. No matter the federal government's assurances that they will be safe, the Igbos flee. They have gone into the bush, leaving their homes shattered by shell fire. Their schools barren of students. Their government headquarters in the once flourishing administrative capital of Enugu ghostly quiet. Nothing is left here now but a few scattered refugee camps. And the federal troops who garrison the eerie and deserted miles of road and bush. At Abakaliki, a district administrator stayed behind. His mother and father are with the Biafrans, but he and his wife, Igbos, cast their lot with the federal Nigerians. A divinity student, he told me that the Igbo, the Biafran, feels it appropriate that he be likened to the Jew.
If we are to be likened to the Jews as we like to be, it means we are a chosen people. We are the people with the grace of God in Nigeria. Sorry, this is not being proud or selfish. Now, if we lose the trend, which is making others realize the goodness in surrendering ourselves to God and in living according to God's law, which is love, it is then that we fail. And this is what happened. With our drive and our punch and our talents, we tended to put what we should have put first last, which is God. And we put material things, money, houses, positions, human esteem, we put them first and put God last. And this is why the punishment has come, as it has come in the history of the Jews. Each time they failed and forgot their God, they were punished by a war on them, as we are being punished now by a war on us.
Nowhere was the war's punishment more devastating than in the commercial city of Onitsha. In this comfortable and sophisticated town perched on the east bank of the Niger River, thousands of Igbo merchants built their fortunes by hard work. The Igbo is a commercial man, and this market at Onitsha, the biggest market in all West Africa, was a monument to his enterprise. When the British author Elspeth Huxley came here, she wrote, "Anything can be bought in this market, from an elephant to an admiral's uniform. There is no difficulty about nylons or about raw meat, whiskey, gold earrings, avocado pears, Irish turkeys, penicillin, or anything else." When the Biafrans left here, they burned the market. What the Igbos failed to burn, the federal Nigerians took care of. Not a building in Onitsha is unscarred. The federal troops inherited just a skeleton, a ghost town. And in the city plaza lies the fallen statue of Nnamdi Azikiwe, Nigeria's first and only president, himself an Igbo. He now lives in London. This bridge across the Niger River was the link. It was also a dividing line between the Igbo East and the rest of Nigeria. The Biafrans, the Igbos, blew it up to keep it from serving federal Nigeria. The bridge can be repaired. But what about the bitterness between the Igbo and his countrymen?
Reconciliation and reunification seem at the moment impossible. At least that's the feeling we got in Biafra. The people simply believe that if they surrender or lose, they'll be killed. Biafra's leaders told me their rock-bottom condition for peace is a referendum in the disputed areas to be guaranteed by some third party. But many observers feel that Biafra would come to the peace table without that referendum if she felt her military position were better and the safety of her people guaranteed.
I came away from Nigeria convinced that genocide is not on the mind of her leaders or her people. They know they need the talents of the Igbo and they want them back. They fear an independent Biafra on their flank as a potentially hostile state with expansionist yearnings. And it must be said, there is growing impatience among Nigerians now at the slow pace of the war, and one would expect that pace to pick up in coming months. They've been stung by the recent air raids of Biafra's miniature Swedish volunteer air force, and they'll make an all-out effort, General Gowan told me, to take out the Biafran airstrips from which those planes fly and into which supplies and weapons for Biafra are flown each night.
To end this war soon, we conclude it will take a genuine effort by the major powers, perhaps by the United Nations. It will be up to the countries now supplying both sides with arms to stop. It will be up to someone to guarantee the safety of the Igbo after a truce and as the negotiations begin.
The United States conceivably could take the lead because this country has studiously avoided any military involvement in the war, aiding Biafra's relief airlift while backing Nigeria politically. But there seems little disposition on the part of the United States or the other major powers to step in. Their attention is focused elsewhere.
This is Biafra Television, exposing the lies.
There's no future for people who deny their past. My foreparents, my grandparents, my mother, my father did not suffer and die to give me an education to slight, oppress, or discourage my people. Because whatsoever education I acquired out of their sacrifice of over 300 years, I shall use for the salvation of the 400 million black people of the world. And the day when I forsake my people, may God Almighty say there shall be no more life for you. I unequivocally rejected the racist assumption of much white American Christianity, namely that God had created the black man inferior and that he had intended Negroes to be a servant class, hewers of wood and drawers of water. Well, I predicated my view of man on the doctrine. If death has power, then count on me to be the real Marcus Garvey I would like to be. If I may come in an earthquake or a plague or a pestilence or as God would have me, then be assured that I shall never desert you and make your enemies triumph over you. Will I not go to hell 1,000,000 times for you? If I die in Atlanta, my work will only just then begin. For I shall live in the physical or the spiritual to see the day of Africa's glory. When I am dead, wrap the mantle of the red, the black, and the green around me, for in the new life I shall rise up with God's grace and blessing to lead the millions of the heights and the triumph that you well know. Look for me in a world when there is a storm. Look for me all around you, for with God's grace I shall come back with countless millions of black men and women who have died in America, those who have died in the West Indies, and those who have died in Africa, to aid you in the fight for liberty, freedom, and life. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own to make ourselves free men. Our great scholars, having passed through the colleges, the universities, have thrown away the blessed record. Babylon did it. Assyria did it. France under Napoleon did it. Germany under Prince von Bismarck did it. England under America under George Washington did it. Africa with 400 million black people can do it. If you cannot do it, if you are not prepared to do it, then you will die. You race of cowards, you race of imbeciles, you race of good-for-nothings. If you cannot do what other men have done, what other nations have done, what other races have done, then you have better die. Can we do it? We can do it. We shall do it. We pray to God for vision and for leadership. And He has given us a universal vision. A vision that will not limit our possibilities to America. A vision that will not limit our possibilities to the West Indies, but a vision that said there must be a free and redeemed Africa. Christ the crucified, Christ the despised. We appeal to you for help, for succor, for leadership. When you endeavor to carry your burden up the heights of Calvary, when white men spurned you, when white men scorned you, when white men spat upon you, when white men pierced your side out of which blood and water gushed forth, it was a black man in the name of Simon the Syrian who took your cross and bore it up the heights of Calvary. And now that we are bearing our burden as being so heavy, we just ask that you just help us on up the heights. Oh, yes, the cause is grand, the cause is glorious. Surely we shall not turn back. Oh, sail on, sail on, sail on, oh mighty ship of state, sail on until the flag of the red, the black, and the green is perched upon the hills of South Africa. Because the time has come for the black man to forget his hero worship of other races and to create and emulate heroes of his own. We must canonize our own saints, create our own martyrs, and elevate the positions of fame and honor black men and women who have made a distinct contribution to our racial history. Sojourner Truth is worthy of a place of sainthood alongside the Joan of Arc. Crispus Attucks and George William Gordon are entitled to the halo of martyrdom with no less glory than the martyrs of any other race. Toussaint Louverture's brilliancy as a soldier or a statesman outshone that of any other people. Hence he's entitled to the highest place as a hero among men. Because Africa's created millions and countless millions of black men and women in war and peace, whose luster and bravery outshone that of any other people. So why not see good and perfection in ourselves? We must inspire our literature and promulgate a doctrine of our own without any apologies to the powers that be. That right is ours and God. Let sentiments and cross opinions go to the winds. We are entitled to our own opinion and are not obligated to or bound by the opinions of others. If others laugh at you, return the laughter to them. If they mimic you, return the compliment with equal force. Because they have no more right to dishonor, discredit you in manhood than you have in dealing with them. Honor them when they honor you. Disrespect and disregard them when they vilely treat you. Their arrogance is but skin deep, an assumption that has no foundation in morals or in law. They have sprung from the same family tree of obscurity as we have. Their history is as rude in its primitiveness as ours. Their ancestors were running wild in living in trees of branches like monkeys as ours. They made human sacrifices, ate the flesh of their own dead and wild meat from beasts for centuries, even as they have accused us of doing. Their cannibalism is more prolonged than ours. When we were embracing the banks of the Nile, They were still drinking blood out of the skulls of their conquered dead. After our civilization had reached the noonday of progress, they were still living in holes with bats, rats, and other insects and animals. After we had already unfathomed the mystery of the stars and reduced the heavenly constellation to minute and regular calculus, there were still backwoodsmen living in ignorance and in blatant darkness. The world is indebted to us for the benefits of civilization. They stole our arts and sciences from Africa. Then why should we be ashamed of ourselves? Their modern improvement
in Atlanta, my work could only just then begin. Or I shall live in the physical or in the spiritual to see the day of Africa's glory. When I am dead, wrapped with the mantle of the red and the black and the green around me, or in a new life I shall rise with God's grace and God's blessings to lead the millions of the heights of triumph with the colors that you will know. Look for me in a world without a storm. Look for me all around you. For with God's grace, I shall come back with countless millions of black men and women. Those who have died in America, those who have died in the West Indies, and those who have died in Africa, to aid you in the fight for liberty, freedom, and life. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our forebears and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own to make ourselves free men. Our great leaders has passed before and built the great colleges and the great universities. Babylon did it. Assyria did it. France under Napoleon did it. Germany under Prince von Bismarck did it. England I know too. America under George Washington did it. Africa with 400 million black people can do it too. If you cannot do it, if you are not prepared to do it, then you will die. You race of cowards, you race of imbeciles, you race of good for nothings. If you cannot do what other men have done, what other nations have done, what other races have done, then you will die. Can we do it? We can do it. We shall do it. We pray to God for vision and for leadership. And He has given us a universal vision. A vision that will not limit our possibilities to America. A vision that will not limit our possibilities to the West Indies. But a vision that said there must be a free and redeemed Africa. Christ the crucified, Christ the despised. We appeal to you for help. We succor up for leadership. When you endeavor to carry your burden on the heights of Calvary, when men spat upon you, when men pierced your side, out of which blood and water goes forth, it was a black man in the name of Simon the Syrian who took your cross and buried to the heights of Calvary. And knowing our burden had been so heavy, we just ask that thou guide us up the ice. Oh yes, the cause is grand, the cause is glory. Surely we shall not turn back. Oh Ceylon, 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 almighty ship for stay Ceylon. Ceylon until the black and the red, the black and the green is perched upon the hilltops of Africa. For the time has come for the black man to be lifted from thraldom, to be lifted from serfdom, to be lifted from bondage, to be lifted from slavery to the heights of a new temple sphere. Sealer.
At the outside prison, I call them outside wall. Now Chris wall be that, not the outside Buhari day. Now Chris man be that, and the man in Chris man's thing. Not the outside them judge they beg you. Now Chris wall be that, not the outside them kill them students. So went to Rosario and Ife. Now Chris wall be that, not the outside Buhari day. A best man be that, and the man in this man's gaming. A best man be that, and the man in this man's gaming. A best one be that, you. Make you hear this one. Power gets in discipline you. The Nigerian government, you. Them they talk you. My people are useless, my people are senseless, my people are indisciplined. I never heard that before. Big government talk to you. Which kind talk be that you? Now Chris talk be that you.
Having defined propaganda, I respectfully wish to disagree with you, because I would have thought that propaganda is more or less sensationalism based correctly, as you quite put forward, on something that is partly true. Let me ask people who are here. Some of them are Nigerians. I find it difficult saying it, but let me just try. If I describe Nigeria as a zoo, how many of you would disagree? I can't see any hands going up. How many of you will disagree with me when I say that Nigeria is a zoo full of wild animals? The only place in the world where you elect somebody, or suppose allegedly elect a president, and he is ruling like a dictator and nobody says anything. That is a zoo to me. Where a policeman will come and open fire on people who are unarmed. That sounds like a zoo to me. Where they will set up roadblock because policeman wants to go and take pepper soup. There is no money, they'll start roadblock, park well, clear well, inside light, outside light, engine light, oil. That to me is a zoo. Where you struggle outside and you ship container to go back, and somebody will take it and tell you that they have not seen your papers. That is a zoo. Where somebody will come out to contest for high office without qualification and still scale through. Without qualification, the law says you must have certificate. There is no certificate and you still scale through. That is a zoo. You have coal, you cannot generate electricity. You have crude oil, you import petrol. Where you have lawmakers who don't make laws, but vote furniture allowance for themselves, travel allowance, newspaper allowance, running into billions upon billions of naira, That to me is a zoo. It is not propaganda, because we don't lie. This is Radio Biafra. The only democracy in the world where you cannot have a protest unless you're protesting against PDP. If you're protesting against the opposition, then they will allow you to protest. But if you're protesting against something that you feel very strongly about, no, you will be cut down. They will open fire. They will open fire. It is unimaginable. It is unbelievable. But we must.
In a zoo. We are really in a zoo. And now I understand that we are really in a zoo.
Of course, when you tell them they don't understand, but now the world is going to understand it. That
the world will learn.
Of course. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much, my dear brother. Thank you for calling Radio Biafra. Our lines are opened up, and we are here to take your calls, and believe you me, we will. Thank you very, very much. Things are happening everywhere. Biafra land is boiling as we speak because they are seeking to provoke us. That is what they want to do. So they can tell the world that we are something that they know very well that we are not. Some of you don't understand how they operate, but we do. We know the way they work. We know what they want to do. They want us to march before the time is right. They want us to succumb and to submit to pressure. They want some of you to become impatient and to lose your grip on fact and reality. We have never failed before, and we are not going to fail. If they cannot jam us, if they cannot take us off air, if they cannot stop us from doing what we are doing, it's part of the fact that even Britain is helping them. That tells you how tenacious we are. We don't want anybody to panic needlessly. Everything happening to us now is expected. We know it is bound to happen, but in the end, we are going to triumph. Every dictatorship, every empire has at one time or the other crumbled. What is happening now is not new. It cannot last for long. I tell you that. They will dissipate. They will exert, they will flaunt, they will waste their energy. That I can assure you. But in the end, we are going to prevail. Be rest assured. Listen, there are dictators all over from Ceausescu. Everybody at one time, Idi Amin thought nobody can replace him. The whole world is replete with dictatorships. They thought they were untouchable. Mohammed Siad Barre of Somalia. Everybody, the same thing now with Buhari. He's jumping up and down, but one day it will dawn on everybody. As the British people, ordinary commoners, told King Charles I before they cut off. Cromwell told him, Charles, I will cut off your head to prove to you that you did not come from God or anything. You are an ordinary human being. And they proceeded to cut off his head. Go and read the history of Britain. That's how they have the House of Commons. That is more powerful than the House of Lords. If you don't know, let me tell you. Some of you don't know history. They cut off the head of a ruling monarch in Britain to prove to them that all men are created equal. You are now jumping up and down because you're a governor. You have the power to order police to shoot. But Willie Obiano, you will be destroyed completely beyond recognition. I'm telling you. Idi Amin did the same thing but failed. Every dictator always falls eventually. Keep harassing our people. Keep tormenting IPOB family members. We are unstoppable. I remember when the early preachers, the genuine ones, traveled to Rome to go and preach the gospel. Do you know what Nero did to them? they fed them to lions. They were alive and they called lions to feed on them. If you travel to Rome, you will see the history there. Do you know that where the Vatican is today, that was where they crucified St. Peter upside down. You see normal crucifixion. People don't know history. Where the Vatican is today, Peter was crucified upside down. The blood rushed into his brain until he died. Others were thrown into barrels of hot oil, cauldron of oil. But do you know what happened? Eventually, the gospel of Yahweh Yeshua took over the whole of Rome. No matter how hard you try, no matter how many of us you kill, and you're only making us stronger and stronger and stronger. We said that Biafra is our religion, so we are prepared to die for Biafra. That's something you must know. Life is meaningless. I listen to advice that is true, but I do what is on my mind eventually, as led by a spirit. You must understand that. That is why we are going to prevail, and that is why Biafra will come. I thank all of you for listening. There is no rest, they say, for the wicked. But we are not wicked, I tell you. We are working very, very hard in a very studious way to ensure that our land, our country is freed from captivity and slavery. The bondage we are encountering, we must unshackle ourselves from it. If you believe in Biafra, remain very strong. We are not going to waver. This will never ever stop until Biafra comes, be rest assured. We are not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. We are still here. Obiano will come and go in disgrace, I tell you. Aboga Wasa will come and go in disgrace. Anybody moving against IPOB, you will be disgraced eventually. It's a war you cannot win. MBC cannot defeat us. The zoo cannot defeat us. They have given up. They know how strong we are and how determined that we are. The world will know that very, very soon. I assure you. Willie Obiano, you have signed your death warrant because eventually you will fall. Eventually you will fall, I assure you. You will fall. Biafra is our religion. Here on radio, Biafra is where we worship, because Chukwu Okike Abiama in heaven, who has lifted all the curse upon us, is our creator. He will guide, bless, nurture, sustain, keep each and every one of you and your families, but more importantly, will sustain and keep his inheritance, which is Biafra. From me, from here, these early hours of the morning in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, I say good morning to all of you.
Watch it out. Watch me far away, see me far away. Shabada, tell me what you saw. I will show you what I have, because I have myself. Authentic say na defense. Make you watch my back. Now wait till you they see, yeah. Unless you have the sense, you go learn to pretend. Do not run away. Kind of sober than you. That is why I say. That is why I say. That is why I talk. That is why I say. That is why I say. That is why I know. How na day? I don't come to speak my mind. with no delay. Let them know say una eyes clear about una way. Watch out, many things they happen in that country you dey. So some people trouble upon people every day. Even when you dey, you go talk say you know dey. I need to understand why this one apart. I need to understand why this truth apart. The promise that we got and nationalize. The promise we will live and no complaints. Watch me far away. Watch me far away. See me far away. See me far away. Tell me what you saw. I will show you what I have. Because I have myself, oh, then think say na defense, oh. Make you watch my back. Now wait till you they see, yeah. Unless you have the sense, oh, you go like to pretend, oh. Do not run away. Kind of that is why I say. That is why I say. That is why I talk. That is why I say. That is why I say. That is why I yarn. Samada, cha cha cha, kick channel. Tell people say, now here we dey, we don't come to stay. I say no retreat, no surrender. We're living big, but no arrange. Look at the soldiers killing innocent Biafrans every day. Look at Islam is killing innocent Christians every day. It depends on you, it depends on you, it depends on you. Chupoki kogama, patoranyo se maka, patoranyo se maka. I know ginaka, that is why I say, that is why I talk, that is why I yarn. That is why I say, that is why I talk, that is why I Ohamadike one Umu Biafra nine Anyisigi gabaniru Onya kaya kocha Weli feneme Onye naya nejuno hine Chuku kwa mawaja You are whiter than snow Oku kibesi oku We stand where you stand We say no secret trial Onyinye chuku Ezosika Osiki Ohamadike No secret trial Prophet Yahweh's young Osiki Ohamadike Osiki Jisike Mazi Alifostus Uchemofo The deputy director of Radio Biafra in London on Nakwaki Osiki Kusike No weni feneme Sebide Ejike Kole Osiki Wande Muje Bije Sikwa No weni feneme No weni fenafio No weni fenako Ezi one Victor Chimezie Okorochukwu Igbo Network Television London Osiki Jisike Na akwụghị n'azụ Ụmụ Biafra niile Kedine n'ụwa Asiki gaba n'iru No secret trial No secret trial, no secret trial, no secret trial. Hey! Watch me far away, see me far away. Tell me what you saw, I will show you what I have. Because I have myself, oh, then think say na defense, oh. Make you watch my back. Now wait till you they see, yeah. Unless you have the sense, oh, you go learn to pretend, oh. Do not run away. That is why I say, that is why I say, that is why I talk. That is why I say, that is why I say, that is why I yarn. That is why I say, that is why I say, that is why I talk. That is why I say, that is why I say, that is why I yarn.
Men that are men do not only look into the future, they settle down to look into the past. Show me a people that abandon their tradition, and I will show you a people that are destined for doom. You are a man in authority, you shouldn't be among the destroyers. You should be part of those that seek progress. I look, I see your funeral, I will come and sing the same song as you go to face a life of doom. Because I see a miserable life ahead of you. You can amend, I know you can amend, and I plead with you, try amend your evil ways to avoid the life of doom. You can avoid the life of doom. You can avoid a life of doom. You can avoid a life of doom. Men that are men do not only look into the future, they settle down to look into the past. Show me a people that abandon their tradition, and I will show you a people that are destined for doom. You are a man in authority, you shouldn't be among the destroyers. You should be part of those that seek progress. I look, I see your funeral, I will come and sing the same song as you go to face a life of doom. Because I see a miserable life ahead of you. You can amend, I know you can amend, and I plead with you, try amend your evil ways to avoid the life of doom. You can avoid a life of doom. Men that are men do not only look into the future, they settle down to look into the past. Show me a people that abandon their tradition, and I will show you a people that are destined for doom. You are a man in authority. You shouldn't be among the destroyers. You should be part of those that seek progress. I look, I see your funeral. I will come and sing the same song as you go to face a life of doom. Because I see a miserable life ahead of you. You can amend. I know you can amend. And I plead with you, try amend your evil ways to avoid the life of doom. You can avoid the life of doom. You can avoid a life of doom. You can avoid a life of doom. Men that are men do not only look into the future, they settle down to look into the past. Show me a people that abandon their tradition, and I will show you a people that are destined for doom. You are a man in authority. You shouldn't be among the destroyers. You should be part of those that seek progress. I look, I see your funeral. I will come and sing the same song as you go to face a life of doom. Because I see a miserable life ahead of you. You can amend. I know you can amend. And I plead with you, try amend your evil ways to avoid the life of doom. You can avoid a life of doom.
Biafra is my home. Biafra is my nation. I will never.
Nigeria at large. And do not forget, this is Biafra Television, Anambra Province, the Ego. I am Uzegu Ngozi Udenko. Stay tuned as we hear what our people have for us. Good morning, Ngozi. Please, may we know your name?
My name is Olisa Afro.
Alright, Mazi Olisa, would you like to flow in English or Igbo language?
I would like to use my mother's language, Igbo.
Alright, na etu ihe si eme na obodo abụ Nigeria keta. Kedu etu ihe ichere maka Nigeria, etu Nigeria si na-aga?
Ihe mere bụ ihe na-aga na Nigeria adịrọ mma. Ihe a si ndị ọchịchị anyị n'aka. Ịghọtago? O si ndị ọchịchị anyị n'aka. Ihe si aga adịrọ mma n'obodo a. Ihe niile mebiri emebi n'obodo a. Ọ bụrụ ma agụwa ya na anyị agụ ya chifo bọọ mana agụsibe ya n'ihe na-eme n'obodo a.
Dịka etu isi na-ekwu, gịnị ka ị na-alụkwa?
Ana m azụ ahịa. Ahịa ọgwụ ka m na-azụ.
Kewa nka afịa si wee na-adịkịta anụwa kemgbe ọchịchị adị?
Sisi nwoke magharịgoro nwoke ugwu Awụsa Buhari, ihe adịghị agazi ọfụma. Mgbe Jonathan na-achị anyị ka na-eritigoro nke nri ọnụ. Dọla bere ego, mana kịta na ahụ dọla etinye ego iji gote ngwaahịa, ma ngote ngwaahịa ihe eji ego gị na akpa mana ịma ngonwu ihe ahụ. maka afọ ego a ga-akpọrọ gị n'igo ya ahụ ga-agala ọnụ ịmago nwere ite na akwa ya so o mere obodo si ike onwe ihe na-aga aga n'obodo a na ike gburu mmadụ n'obodo a mụ na onwe m na-ekwuli sef na ọ bụ na afụrụ nwere efe sef na ọmụ apụ okwu obodo a apụwa sef na obodo a ike obodo agwụgo m
ọkwa na isi obodo a wee pụọ maka na ike obodo agwụgo m. Alright, ọ bụ na ị na-aga anya dịka etu ihe si aga ọ bụ na ewezuga maka ihe isi ike dị n'obodo amara m ma enwe ndị ị na-elekọta ya dịka ndị na-aga akwụkwọ maọbụ ndị na-azụ n'ọrụ ke ka ihe si wee na-aga kịta.
Enwe ụmụnne m ndị na-akwụrụ ụgwọ akwụkwọ mana ụgwọ akwụkwọ na-akwụrụ ha a na-agwa emekọtara nwe nwanne nwoke m kwụkọtara ụgwọ akwụkwọ si ya na ọ gụcha SS3 O level o je mụọ ọrụ na obodo anụnwa wee gụcha adịghị enweta ọrụ o nweghị isi na ha na-agụ akwụkwọ.
Ya bụ na enwe graduate inwe n'ụlọ iji na-ekwu etu
a onwe nwere as a graduate o nwere ihe ọ na-arụ ọ nọ na-akpagharị ihe ọ na-eme na ọ na-akpagharị ọ na-apịgharị sistem na-akpagharị amamọ ego ọ na-achọsi igwu gịnị ego adịrọ n'obodo a onye nke ndị zụrụ azụ emere m ha jee mụọ ọrụ onye gụrụ O level secondary school o jee mụọ ọla n'ime egodi agba ya ka agba ka ọ fọzie ije ịfọda ahead.
Oge ị na-ekwu okwu ikwuturu okwu maka onye na-achị obodo anụnwa bụ Buhari ị na-ege okwu Maazị Nnamdi Kanu na-ekwu ọfụ a ọ Buhari bụ ihe nọ na that asọrọ nkịta n'uche n'ihe Maazị Nnamdi Kanu na-ekwu?
According to ihe Maazị Nnamdi Kanu na-ekwu ọ bụrụkwa Buhari na ebe a maka ị ga-ekwu Atiku ntị Atiku asị gị na ọ bụrụ Buhari na ebe a ị ga-ele Mohammed ntị ọ na-akọva ọp ọchị ikwu okwu ọ bụ na prezidenti chigwa ya okwu ọpụta bịa na presidential chat edibeti ekwu okwu ebe a ngwa Naijiria si ndị ọ na-achị okwu mana ọ na-agba n'ọsọ iji gosi na ọ bụ ya Buhari na ojubiri akpọrọ ya ka ọnwụ.
Alright, gị ka ịgwara ike ikwu maka ihe okwu ọfụ anụnwa oge ọ na-ekwu okwu na Poland ọ sị it's the real me amara m nke ka isi efu ya bụ okwu a
ọ ya ofu okwu a na-ekwu ya pụta na presidential chat bịa gwa anyị n'ọya real Buhari ọ bụrụ ọbịa oje na Poland ọ Naijiria Poland abụrụ Naijiria ọ bịa ọbịa gwa Naijiria nso okwu ndị ọ na-achị okwu anya wee nụ ntị ma ọ ya wa ka ọ na ọ bụrụ ya wa.
Alright, site n'ihe ndị a niile ị na-ekwu ebe anụnwa nwa m ihe nwere ike ikwu advice ị nwere ike inye ndị be anyị nọ n'ilo maka obodo anyị na-ekwu okwu ebu Biafra.
Ihe nwere ịgwa ndị be anyị bụ ndị Biafra maka mụ onwe m bụkwa onye Biafra ihe nwere ịgwa ndị be anyị ha jisi ike na ha na-agba mbọ ihe ọbụla Maazị Nnamdi Kanu na-ekwu ka anyị na-eti ya n'ọrụ ka anyị na-apụta ka anyị atụla egwu ka anyị na-achụsoli freedom ike na nwere onwe abụkwanụ ihe ya wee apụta taa ekwuo ya taa enweta ya echi na Israel nwekwenu independent nke ya mana ọ bụ as na 1914 mana ọ bụ 1914 ka ha bitere agitation na o were ọtụtụ arọ before ha enwere onwe ha ihe na-ekwu ndị be anyị ha jisi ike tinye uchu ka anyị enye aka ka anyị nweta ihe anyị chọrọ na ama m na enweta Biafra na Biafra ga-aka obodo anyị nọ mma.
Ndewo imeela.
Daalụ.
This is Biafra television.
Okay.
Please, may we know your name?
My name is Ifeanyi Anemenam.
Ifeanyi Anemenam.
Yes.
You are the owner of this keke?
I'm not the owner. I'm riding for somebody.
That's higher purchase.
High purchase.
Alright, please, are we to flow in English or Igbo language?
You can flow in English.
Alright, looking at what is happening in Nigeria, first of all, are you a graduate or?
I'm still waiting for admission. I'm still a student. I'm still waiting for admission. Then I'm looking to raise money. I will use to enter school.
Okay.
Yeah.
As an HND or?
That is O level.
Okay, you have your O level with you.
Yes.
Alright, how difficult, how easy have you seen the condition of Nigeria? Because it's about going back to school after paying for the keke which you are doing higher purchase for. How do you see the condition of this country, Nigeria?
It hasn't been easy, my sister. It hasn't been easy. Things are very hard. Even to eat has become a problem for me and my family and my little children. I'm the firstborn. It hasn't been easy for me. You understand? So even the school, I'm even contemplating on postponing it because the environment is not suitable for us to even indulge.
Wow, you're married already?
I'm not married.
Okay. Alright, looking at the condition the condition of Nigeria being hard this time, how do you see the restoration of Biafra, which people are talking about this time?
I think it's our last hope. We don't have any other hope in this country again because we have lost hope on everybody, both in the nation, in our leaders, because of the way they treat us and because of the way they have placed the nation. So we have lost almost confidence in everything they do and in this nation.
Talking about losing hope, don't you think that the coming of P2B as the vice president, that's a running mate to Atiku Abubakar, don't you think it will be a plus to Igbos?
First of all, let me correct your impression.
Okay.
Atiku was once in APC.
Okay.
He was once a running mate, a primary. He then learned with Buhari at APC, but Buhari defeated him. It's not a bit of a defeat. I will call it, he just hands up to the highest bidder. They just hand off to the highest bidder, and now he's coming back to APC to take lift P2B in his hand, so that our tempers will go down in this country, because they have seen to know our plight. They know that we are no longer happy with them again. That if we manage to get any atomic bomb, we press it on them.
All right. So what you are saying, that I believe that other people in Igbo land will have the same view with you. So you believe that P2B being a running mate to Atiku is not helping matter, and we are not interested in that?
It does not simply mean anything, because the way Nigeria was constructed was the root cause of the problem. The Nigeria was constructed and handed over to the north to take in charge. Then how will you come and convince me after so many years of Nigerian independence and Nigeria will get better again because P2B is the vice president? It does not make any point to me.
Alright, it's just like a history repeating itself, because I remember before Goodluck Jonathan entered into that very seat, it was still the same thing.
It's still the same thing. Even Goodluck Jonathan as a president was not the president then.
Okay.
He was just like sidelining wherever they pull him, he goes. If they pull him to the wall, he goes there. So anything goes for him. That was why he could not be able to, after 4 years, after 6 years of his reign, he was not able to achieve anything.
Alright, that means even if somebody from Anambra State or your state is made the president of Nigeria,
even if it is my brother, even if it is my brother, they will kill my brother. My brother, immediately they announce my brother as the winner, they will kill him, because he will be unable to do anything. The way the system, the way the chairs, the way the environment, the way the wars we are being constructed in Nigeria, the way Nigeria was made itself is the cause of the problem that no person, nobody from any other place can survive in India. Have you seen the problem now? The problem is from the beginning. It's not for us to. It's just like you building without a pillar.
Okay.
And you build a 4D king without a pillar. What you have to do is to demolish the building and start afresh again. Because if you continue, one day people who are living inside here, the building will collapse and all of them will die.
Alright, that's talking about Nigeria being a contraption.
Yes.
That there is nothing that you can do to Nigeria to make it work.
To make it work. That's a simple answer.
So what do you believe that will be the solution to that?
The solution to all this problem is calling the people of Nigeria and asking them what they want.
Okay. That's
calling them. Yes, calling them and asking them what they want.
Okay.
Whether they wanted to continue their suffering or for a betterment of their life. And which you will believe with me that nobody will like to continue his suffering. Everybody wants the betterment of his life. Nobody would like to go to fire. We will see water and go to fire. So that is the answer to your question. Calling the people to a round table and asking them what they want. Whether they want to remain with their Hausa Caliphate, or whether they want to, even those people who are called the Hausa Caliphate, Hausa and Fulani Caliphate, they don't even want Nigeria. It's because of the oil. The oil is the root cause of the problem. I don't know why Elohim just brought oil inside this land to make us suffer. But it's because of our sin, of our lectures now. We placed it so that you carry another less who are more stronger than we. I will not call them more stronger than we. I will just only call them, they are inflicted on us because of our sins. That's the simple answer.
Alright, what you're saying is that without oil, that we are going to make it.
And what is oil? Even me and you are not enjoying the oil. I'm riding my keke. I don't know what is oil. I have not ate a dime from the oil money. I don't know how the oil look like, whether it is black or new. I always learn from the book. The only thing I see in this country is petroleum, which I used to drive my keke.
Petrol, how much are you buying the petrol?
145. As an oil owner that I'm so-called called. 145 every day.
What of kerosene this time in?
I don't know of kerosene because I can't afford kerosene. Sometimes I use firewood. So I can't afford kerosene. The only thing I manage to afford now is all this gas, cylinder gas.
Okay.
That's what I can. Use gas.
How much they used to feel the kg of your cylinder?
12.5.
12. How much are they filling now?
4,500.
4,500 naira for 12.5
for 12.5, which will not even last for three weeks.
That is Nigeria for us. What is the advice to our people out there that are listening to you?
Sometimes I became amazed when people say that they still want Nigeria.
Okay.
You want Nigeria when you have a dead president. Your president has already died long ago, and you still want Nigeria. You are comfortable with Nigeria. You are being ruled by a dead man. With all the class of certificate people who are high intellect people, professors everywhere, you allow the dead man to, you see, you are a miserable human being. I call them miserable human being. So I'm calling my brothers to come back home, to come back to their sense, not even to come back home, to come back to their rightful sense and think like a human being in which they are. Because thinking like an animal is another thing. Even animals have more integrity than our people now.
Indeed. Alright, thank you, Mazi, for the wonderful time we spent with you. We pray that your camera will be.
Yes, they call me, my title is Nkoye Metalodelia.
You say? Oh, no, for Ndewo, Mazi. Thank you.
Outside the batch. 5,000.
But still, I'm not going for 5,000. So let's take it.
How many years? 30 years. Wow. Okay, so I'll send them mommy when I win it.
Pure water. You got our water. You got a school.
Just three.
Just three. I don't know it.
13.
Okay. This is what our people are going through. This is a 13-year-old girl and she is selling pure water. This is a land filled with milk and honey. But our children should not go to school because of the hard. Okay. Go on and let Afianda know and the other. Get a oversee the one.
Well, we won't go back to the over to the map. We didn't go back to the map.
I'm not better than what he's doing as the way. Okay, how can I secondary school after I had that jump back or no?
Yeah, I put that. They are the next year. I put that. So I can't go 5 times.
Mana Lugo Sabo, Iluaba, I want to go over the cup of mark. And when you can get admission, whenever I'm one of them, then whatever. Okay. Obuna Inanya Dika, 8 years, Ghana, Obuda, Nigeria. Or they can wear here. na-abata maka na anyị na-efu na election ya abịa na next year February dị ka ya enwe ihe mgbanwe etu ya eweta ebido US ka ọ bụrụ running mate nya vice president ọ ya bụ vice president Atiku ma ọ bụrụ Ichiro na Peter Obi bụ vice president enwere ndị na onwe ike add ihe wee dị mma na obodo ya bụ ihe na-achịkwa chekwana ihe ị na-agwa ndị be anyị nkịta anụ banyere election anụ ha ya tụ na nghọta nke m agba ọtụ n'oge agba abụọ maka na enwego mgbe ha sị na ya funye putu ha ga-ebe na ejere a na-ete na ha na-atụ votu ndị na-enye 1,000 ndị na-enye 2,000 mana onye chọrọ na 2,000 naira ahụ ọchọcha votu 2,000 naira ya ezuru for the 4 years onye ahụ ya mgbe ejikwa ọnwa ọzọ ọzọ ka wee nakwadịba 2,000 naira na anyị chọrọ onye ya bụ ọchịba anyị ihe adịba mma ihe enye egodigo aka azụ ịtụọ votu mana onye ahụ ịtụrụ ka ahọpụta karịba ịtụọrọ onye a ahọpụta onye ọzọ so na anyị chọrọ onye ọ dị ka onye nwa ya bụ president of Nigeria taa ife adị mma ya bụ iso na-ekwunye Biafra bịa ka anyị nwee ike nwere onwe anyị Biafra bịa bikọz na mbụ ụmụ Israel nọkwa n'Ijipt ha nọgidekwa wee ruo Chineke si na aja chọrọ ka ha la ebe Chineke achọkwa ka anyị la anyị si n'aka ndị na-akpagbu anyị bụ Ijipt anyị nọ obodo gwara ya
everywhere on the face of this earth there's no place like home. We are never giving up on our country, Biafra, for no fear of violence, death, war, Britain, House of Fulanese or their terror groups. That will not happen. It's never going to happen. For Biafra is life and freedom herself. On Biafra we stand. We're out of here.
You are now rocking with a king for the love of my country. Biafra featuring DJ Whiskey.
Real fans. Holy. Ooh. For the love of my Biafra. Ooh. For the love of our kingdom. For the love of our holy land, ooh. For the love of my country, I really wanna wake up from this nightmare. Let my cool Nigeria, can't nobody take away what we got going on. For the love of my country, I traveled everywhere on the face of this earth. There's no place like home. Ooh. Touch me, shake me, wake me up. Love me, hate me, do what you gotta do. I really wanna wake up from this nightmare. Let my cool Nigeria, can't nobody take away what we got going on. For the love of our country, I traveled everywhere on the face of this earth. There's no place like home. Ooh. Ooh. For the love of mankind, ooh. For the love of freedom, ooh. For the love of Chukwu, ooh. For the love of my country, I really wanna wake up from this nightmare. Let my cool Nigeria, can't nobody take away what we got going on. For the love of of a country. I traveled everywhere on the face of this earth. There's no place like home. Ooh, for the love of my home. Britain came like a thief in the night, like a thief in the night. Nigeria came like a thief in the night, like a thief in the night. The Bojos came like thieves in the night. Murderous monsters came like a thief to kill and steal and to keep us down. Kill baby, Biafra oil. Biafra oil made the world go round. Makes me wonder what the hell is going on. Why are they killing our people for our oil? Nigeria killing Biafrans for their land. First it was oil, now it's cow colony. Mieti Allah, another terror group. Fulani henchmen killing everywhere. Boko Haram too, it's all about the killing. 18 terror come from the north. Nigeria army never for the war. Killing Biafrans is all they're ever known for. Killing Biafrans is all they're ever known for. Unarmed civilians ain't safe around them. The war looked the other way like it was nothing. United Nations very hypocritical. They ain't saying shit, they are partners in crime. We trust in God so we still see the light. Hey, they are walking my Biafra spirit. Love them.